Hi. All right, so good evening, everybody. My name is Kristen. We are here tonight for bedtime yoga. Check. Okay, great. So bedtime yoga, this is the time of the evening. We're at the end of our day. We're here to kind of sweep all of the energy that we've been accumulating, whether via tasks, via our thoughts, whatever it is that we've been doing. This is the time of day to start to bring your body in the opposite direction. So we're going to focus a lot more on cooling the body down, calming the mind down so that we can come to a more even-keeled energetic place, bringing your body into a state where you can then start resting. Okay, so what we're going to need for class tonight is a bolster. If you don't have a bolster at home, you can take a few towels, roll those up nice and tight, or you can take a pillow, something from your couch, just something that gives you, it's a little bit of firm, gives you some height. You're going to want to grab a block. If you do not have a block, a few stacks of books will suffice, or a tall can, like a 28-ounce can of vegetables, and a blanket or a towel. Okay, so those are the props that we're going to be using. The other props is just going to be your body, gravity, the floor. Okay, so we're going to get started. So what I want you to do, come to your mat, come to your designated floor space, and we're going to begin standing. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is taking our energy from kind of a more higher place and then working with that upward energy as we slowly begin to descend the energy downwards. So I want you to start standing. Again, make sure your props are nearby, make sure that your distractions are dimmed as best as you can. And I want you to lift your toes up and down a few times, lift your heels a few times, just rock from the front of your feet and back towards your heels. Doesn't have to be high. Start to get really acquainted with the feeling of the sole of your foot rooting down to the floor. Pull your shoulders up towards your ears and down. Just keep moving your hips, moving your knees, moving your head, maybe even just swaying from side to side. We're just getting that movement into our body. We're working with where we are in the day. Kind of throwing your weight from side to side. Keep moving through your hips. Keep moving through your heels. And then slowly start to come towards stillness. Really slowly, just feel your equilibrium moving you in one direction and the other until you're standing in stillness, and then very gently rest your eyes. Slowly turning your palms forward, take a slight bend of your knees. Tiny micro bend in the knees. And as you feel your feet rooting down, as you feel your shoulders releasing away from the bottoms of your ears, you feel all the weight pulling down into your fingertips. As you take a deep breath in, feel the air move through your nostrils all the way down to the bottom of your lungs. And as you breathe in, feeling your lungs expand like an accordion, opening up, inviting this air in all the way to the top of your lungs. And then as you exhale, HA, whisper that breath all the way out. And take a few breaths just like this. Start to feel this rolling sensation of your breath. As you breathe, as you feel the circle of your inhales and exhales, and a little bit bigger each time you return to the cycle, start to imagine that your breath was coming in through the soles of your feet, rising all the way up your body, up to the top of your head. And as you exhale, feel the breath now moving from the top of your head down through your body and out through the soles of your feet. And just keep moving in that direction. As you inhale, the breath lifts. As you exhale, the breath releases down. Now I want you to start to feel this energetic movement. What happens when you start to focus in one direction? So we know that our breath lives in our lungs, right? But what we're doing is starting to expand the energetic movement of your breath. Starting to feel into the entire structure of our bodies. And offering this space as a possibility, this energetic movement as a possibility for growth and expansion. Now we're going to take this just a little bit deeper, and we're going to transform this energetic lift and energetic decline, that's the word, into a somatic practice that you'll probably see and hear a lot if you haven't already, called filling the cup. It's a favorite in these parts. So I've been moving my hand in as an example. I'm going to lower my hand down now. I want you to again lift your toes, lift your heels, feel your feet planted against the ground, slight micro bend of the knees. As you breathe in on the next time, again, feel that energy lift through the body. And as you track that energy, start to lift the tip of your nose, as if you were lifting your nostrils above a water line. And now following that descending energy, using the tip of your nose, start to draw your chin in towards your chest and slowly, slowly, slowly begin to fold the spine forward, all the way down, all the way down, forward, forward. Press into the heels as you inhale. Again, follow that energetic movement up towards the crown of your head. Shoulders roll back, nose lifts above the waterline. And then exhale, chin into the chest. Slight bend of the knees as your spine leads down, following the lead of your, to the tip of your nose. And follow that energy up. Tip of the nose lifts above the waterline. Exhale. Chin into chest. Slowly rolling down. And then we'll start to break off into our own rhythm here. This is a perfect way to begin to honor the rhythm internal. Doesn't matter what I'm saying, doesn't matter what I'm doing. Just start to incorporate the rhythm of your own breathing here. And just listening into the sound of my voice. So in this moment, we are not quite activating the energy inherent in us from the rest of our day, from everything that happened before this moment. What we're instead doing is meeting that energy where it is. So whether your energy is high or your energy is low, it's still possible, especially right now. So we're filming this in the summer. It is still daylight outside. So there's still that energy that's churning. Even in the winter, when it gets darker so much earlier, our days don't stop when the sun goes down. There's this energy to life as we know it that makes it really hard to just step off and be expected to calm and relax. So this exercise is the perfect way to acknowledge that energy and work with it as we start to slowly descend it down into something that resembles more peace, more calm. And the next time that you're lowered all the way down, just rest here for a moment. Bend your knees a little bit more. You can slowly trace figure eights with your fingertips. You can reach for opposite elbows. Whatever works best for you, whatever feels best for you. Keep rolling forward and lowering your head down. Rolling forward, lowering the head down. Feel your spine gently opening and expanding from the tailbone all the way through the middle of the back, up past the shoulders, connecting to the skull. And again, we feel our hips lifting, rolling the weight forward. We feel the back of our legs extending from the heels all the way up to the hip sockets. Keeping the knees slightly bent, feeling the torso begin to rest towards the thighs or on top of the thighs. And this isn't necessarily a physical movement. I'll turn to the side so you can see. It's more of an energetic movement, right? So it doesn't have to be right on top of the thighs. And if your body is already on top of the thighs, again, it's not quite about the connection. It's more about the internal movement downward and inward. That's what we're really focusing on here. Keeping the knees supple, keeping the knees bent. And notice if you've brought any of this into your shoulders, your head, or your face. So there's a slight activation here because of the way that we're leaning forward and for how long we're staying here. So just notice that. Notice if your mind is sparking in any other direction. Notice if you're gripping your jaw, your eyebrows. Notice if your shoulders are not quite relaxed, if they're hunched up towards your ears. See if each exhale you can release that down and bring that energy back in towards your heels and up towards your hips. We're going to take 5 more breaths here, taking this at your own pace. Each time you breathe in, see if you can bring the inhale to the back body. And then lower your hands down, just as slowly melting your legs down onto the ground, coming into a tabletop pose. If you have sensitive knees, this is a great time to Find a little bit of padding with that blanket or towel. I have sensitive knees, so this works for me. You can also fold your mat up underneath your knees, just double your mat up. And then spreading your fingers wide, pressing the center of your palm down through the mat, down through the floor. Feeling this lift coming up out of your wrists. The navel reaching in towards the spine. We're going to continue to embody the breath here. Take a few very gentle cat-cows. So this is less about warming. This is more about continuing. Tucking the toes as you inhale to lift the tailbone. Slowly glide the chest forward as you press down with your hands, lifting high through the crown of the head. Untucking your toes as you exhale, curl the sits bones underneath. Chin in towards your chest, press your upper back towards the ceiling. Tuck your toes, inhale, slowly roll forward. Untuck your toes, exhale. Chin to chest. And continue with this process. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. And doing this with the intention of slow movement. This is less about the stretch and the length in the body. It's more about slowing our physical movements down. And then move back towards a neutral tabletop. Move your knees over to the side, sit your hips down. And then taking your blanket, folding that over once into a long rectangle. Giving your hips a little bit of height as you come up to a seated pose. You can stack your foot one in front of the other, so they don't have to be on top of each other. Just rest them gently on the floor. Bring your hands towards your knees. And start to breathe deeply. And finding that circle of your breath, that circular rhythm. As the breath moves down towards the bottom of your lungs, expanding in all directions. And then moves back. So we're feeling this energy, the energy of our day begin to gently disperse, start to lower itself down. Breathe into the sensation of the root of your spine being lifted by this blanket beneath you. Feeling into this understanding. We're beginning to take our body down towards the ground. So I mentioned gravity being one of the props that we use for tonight, and I really want you to utilize that concept. So where in your body in this moment do you notice that you're working against gravity? It can be these tiny little places of tension. Maybe it's the tiny muscles around your eyes. It might be the way that your throat is still tense after speaking all day. You might find it in your hips, you might find it in your feet, you might find it in your thoughts. Where are these little vestiges of tension that are preventing you from accessing gravity, the feeling of gravity, the depth, the presence of gravity? And your next breath in, keeping your eyes closed, start to reach your left foot off to the side, bringing your right foot as close to the center of your left thigh as you can. And I want to caution you here. So this isn't about finding the biggest shape that your body can find. This is simply about opening, gentle lengthening, gentle expansion. We're not going for huge stretches right now. We don't want our energy to lift. We're just going with the more smaller, more subtle shapes that we can create together. So opening your palms, brushing your fingertips down against the mat. As you inhale, reach your arms off to the side. Find your wingspan as you reach your arms up overhead. And then keeping your fingers lifted towards the ceiling. Bring the navel in towards the spine and find length from the base of your spine all the way up through your fingertips. Now imagining that there was a thread coming up out of the crown of your head. I want you to very slowly turn on this axis so you're facing your big toe on your left side. So this may be an approximation. But being honest, I'm not totally this way. That's requiring too much effort. It's just going to be aimed in that direction. Able to spine, finding that length, taking a deep breath in. And as you exhale, reaching from the seat all the way out through the fingertips to lower your hands down on either side. So you may be up by your ankle, you may be a little further up by your knee. Depends on your flexibility and your length here. So find what feels the least energizing to you. So notice I'm not reaching for my foot. I'm just letting my hands gently fall where they need to. So pressing into the heel, again, slight micro bend of the knee. We're going to reach the hands away from the floor, slowly rising back up. Back up to the ceiling. And then we're going to lower again. So finding the length from the base of the spine out through the fingertips, lowering the hands down. Wherever they fall, whatever length works for you. Chin into your chest, press down into the back of your heel against the floor to inhale and lift. And exhale to reach and lower. Inhale to lift. You're shaking a little bit, that's totally fine. It's your body digesting this movement. Exhale. Exhale to lower. Once more, press into the back of the heel. Inhale as you lift. And exhale as you lower. And this time let the arms rest. Chin in towards your chest. Slight bend of your knee. You don't want to be forcing the leg straight. And with each breath out, feeling your shoulders release, your forehead releasing down towards your knee. Finding the circular motion of your breath. Moving in and out. Resting against the ground, the back of your heel, feeling your body melting downwards, with the rhythm of your exhale. And taking one more cycle of breath here. Pressing into your heel, inhale to lift. Lower your hands down and bring your left foot back to meet your right. And returning to the seated pose, hands resting on your knees. And then very slowly extending your right foot out. Toes reaching up towards the ceiling. Placing the sole of your left foot on your inner right thigh. Again, we're not looking for huge shapes here. We're just looking for a gentleness. We're looking for a gentle opening. Your arms open, fingers rest against the floor. You inhale, reach your arms out, up and over. Again, finding that string reaching out from the crown of your head, very slowly begin to turn towards your right big toe. Being honest, not jerking the body, just finding this openness, finding this gentle unfolding in this direction. Slight bend of your right knee. As you inhale, reach the fingertips high. And as you exhale, slowly reaching the fingertips away from the base of your spine, lowering all the way down. Now again, you may be up by your ankle, you may be down by your knee. This may be totally different on this side of your body. Just work with what your body is telling you. This practice is all about meeting you where you are presently. Pressing into your heel, slowly begin to reach the fingertips back up towards the ceiling. And exhale again, reach from the tail out through the fingertips, slowly lower down. Inhale to reach high and lift. And exhale to slowly lower down. Inhale to reach high and lift. And exhale to slowly lower down. This time we'll rest along the floor. Your shoulders getting heavy, elbows getting heavy. Press in towards the sits bones. Feel your spine rolling over the front of your thigh, lowering down. And coming into your breath. The rhythm of your breathing, being your guide here. And checking in, where are you gripping? Are you gripping in your thoughts? Are you gripping anywhere in your body? Where can you slowly, subtly release that energetic pooling? We're going to take another breath in, another breath out. And pressing into the back of your heel, reaching your arms forward, out, up, and overhead. And turning back towards center, exhale to lower your hands down, bringing your right foot in, stacking in front of the left, and resting your hands on your knees. Now bringing your feet forward, pressing the soles of your feet together. We're going to open your knees out towards the side. Now, this could look a few different ways. If you have limited flexibility here in your inner thighs, you want to bring your feet a little bit further out. Okay, so you don't want to feel like the closer your heels get in, the more you're falling backwards or falling forwards. You still want to feel stable. Now we're up on our blanket. This works for some. This feels a little restrictive for others. So if this feels good, keep it. If this feels different, if you feel like you can access this a little bit deeper, take the blanket off. So I am going to take the blanket off to the side. And then reach your hands either for your toes or back along your ankles, maybe even somewhere up by your shins. Again, up to your body. Your body is the boss, so listen to what your body is telling you, not what you think it should do. Roll your shoulders back. Press your chest forward, lift your head high. And then leading with your chin, bringing your chin down in towards the chest. And then feel the chin moving down towards your chest as you begin to lower your forehead. Any length down towards the floor. As you can see, I'm able to get a little deep on this one. So this is not where you have to go. As long as your chin is towards your chest and you feel this openness in your back, feel this openness through the center of your thighs, you're doing it right. It's just a matter of how this is constructed in your body with your skeletal system. Again, remember, we're opting here for a gentleness, a gentle connection to gravity. We're not looking for big, expansive shapes. Once you've found yours, take a deep breath in. And exhale. Lower all the way down. Keep your breathing soft. Finding that rhythm of the inhale and the exhale. And as you press down through your sits bones, inhale to slowly rise all the way up. Feel your vertebrae stacking, feel your head be the very last thing that lifts. Very carefully, keeping your eyes either closed or very gently opened. Reach for your block or something similar, and your bolster or something similar. Move your blanket off to the side where you can reach it. And we're going to make a ramp with our bolster and our block. So block is at the lowest height if you're using a block. If you're using something similar, just whatever height you've got is fine. And then place your bolster, rolled up blanket, something similar, so that the ramp is as low to the ground as you can. So you can see there's not a whole lot of an incline here. Keeping the blanket off to the side, I'm going to first check in with my lower back, make sure there's about a fist's width distance between my lower back and the bolster. And I'm going to lower back here, keeping my knees lifted, opening my feet about as wide as my hips, and opening my hands up towards the ceiling. And there will be some tiny little movements that your body wants to do here. So this is simply your body settling around the bones. Your shoulders opening from the center of your chest and down towards your elbows. And feeling this breath, this circle of breath, slowly moving through your lungs. Feel like you can keep your legs here. You also have the option to lengthen your legs along the floor. Really up to your body, how your body is made, what feels comfortable, what your body's asking for in the moment. And you'll know. Once you receive that answer, go deeper. In this moment, feeling the support system on your back. The weight of your skull pressing down against the bolster behind you. Feeling into the sensation of resting your brain. So in this world that we live in, it's an extremely cerebral experience. So we're constantly thinking, we're constantly using the functions of our brain, so much so that it feels a lot of the time like all we are is a brain. All we are the thoughts that we have, or the things that we see, or the place that we're in, the way that the feedback that our brain is communicating to us. So in this moment, see if you can feel your brain resting inside of your skull. Bringing your focus to the fact that your brain is an organ, just like any other organ in your body. And keeping your eyes closed if you can, and feeling for your blanket. And then moving this blanket into a shape that resembles a square. This is really something that'll give you some distance as you put the blanket in between your knees. Very slowly tipping your knees over to the left. And again, letting your body settle, doing these tiny little movements, allowing these tiny little movements just to make sure that your body settles into the pose. However your body needs to experience the pose, not the other way around. The pose is not the driver, you are the driver. And once you find that, lower your right shoulder against the bolster. And you can continue to look up. You can also slowly glide your gaze over to the right. Totally up to you. next breath in, very slowly. Bring your knees back towards center, gaze towards center. And exhale to tip your knees over towards the right. Lower your left shoulder back against the bolster. Again, let your body move through any tiny adjustment that it needs to. Slowly touch your gaze over towards the left if you like. That works for you. Very slowly, start to bring your knees back to center, gaze to center. And a few options here. You can either stay in this lifted pose for our final resting posture, or you can choose to push your props off to the side and lay flat against the floor. Or you can deconstruct the props into anything that feels excellent, anything that helps you to really find the stillness at the end of this practice. I'm choosing to stay here. I'm choosing to put the blanket over my torso. You can do any other way that works for you. As we move into stillness, this space of integration, take a deep breath in. Release your shoulders. And breath spill out. The exhale to take you deep into your body. As you continue to let the organ of your brain sink into a softer, quieter place. Very defined, gentle movements as you lift the knees, roll over towards one side, feeling your body melt in one direction. Pressing down with your top hand, slowly pressing up towards a seated pose. Bring your hands to heart center. Breathing into the space of gratitude. As you move into your evening, a space of gravity, of softness and of gentleness. And bow towards your practice. Thank you.